Hey guys, this is 97 Lego Maniac. Be sure to check out my other social media accounts and my Patreon. Links are down below. Hey guys, this is 97 Lego Maniac and welcome to my very first YouTube series called Customizing Critique. Customizing Critique is this web series that I created, and you're not going to see a lot of YouTubers, especially custom Lego YouTubers, actually spend their time to make something like this. And it's pretty much what I just look over all the submissions you gave me, you send me to my email, and it's like all of your customized minifigures, and I just look through them and talk about the things I like about it, things I think you could improve on. I'll also give you tips and tricks on it, maybe maybe what you can do with what methods you should try on. And lastly, I'll just maybe give you if I were to make this figure, how would I approach it? Just to give you guys a better understanding how you can plan ahead or think when you're making any minifigure in general. Because why did I decide to make this? Because I think it's better for me to make a video to talk about this. Because I think it's better for me to make a video something about this to show appreciation and show acknowledging other fans' work, rather than just people just sending me private DMs on Instagram or anywhere else and just say, hey, what do you think of this? Because the thing is, believe it or not, I'm not on these social medias 24/7. I have class and I have work. And I cannot make a paragraph talking about a Lego figure. I'm sorry, I'm saving those for my custom minifigure scripts, and I'm saving it for college essays. I do not have time to give you my full opinion on each figure, and if I start doing that, then people are just going to keep sending me more, and that means I have to type more and stuff. I think it's better for me to just personally talk to you in video and talk to you with the things that I think you could improve onto your figure, and also other people can see it and then I'll maybe inspire them to to participate more in this type of YouTube series, and then maybe take notes from that person, some of the things that person is doing right or doing something wrong, and it will benefit everyone. And I think doing this would create pretty much a healthy relationship in the Lego custom community, because nowadays it's been pretty negative and it's just so dumb with all the recent drama. So it's just, I think doing something like this can definitely bring us back together. Enough ranting and talking about other things. You guys don't give a shit. Let's just talk about these figures. Yay! So the first figure we have here is this Robin. I'm not sure which Robin. You guys probably might know which Robin this is. I don't read comics. And this Hugo Strange, if I'm not mistaken. Looking at this right now, the Hugo Strange, the overall paint job on Hugo Strange, it's not bad. Definitely, I think it could be a lot cleaner though. I understand it's very hard to paint on white surfaces, because if you make mistakes and you try to erase it, the erase marks do kind of show a bit. Now, I don't know what material this person used. It's either Sharpie or it's very glossy paint. It's probably very glossy paint, because I do see kind of a little bit of brush strokes actually on the gray area underneath. So there's that. I like the addition of the wrinkles you added, so that's really cool. By the way, I have no idea who sent this to me. It's this random, sketchy looking email. Oh, I accidentally closed out. So I guess this person just wants to be anonymous, so whoever this is, overall, you did a pretty decent job. But that's not it. I have more to tell. I have more to say. Let's look at the head. The glasses are not as good as I would like it to be. Definitely work on your outlines. Outlining is very important on making more minifigures, because if the outlining of the figs aren't good, then it really shows and it would turn people off. I am not sure what this A shape is. For someone, or for those who know Hugo Strange, they might know what that A shape is supposed to represent. To me, it looks like a pocket, and those two things are like a little pocket. See that white box, and it looks like two black chopsticks are poking out of it. it just looks strange. It doesn't look very clear to me of what that is supposed to be. The message isn't really putting it across. I sound like a professional artist, like giving critique on artwork. I should be proud of myself. Yeah, but overall, like as long as the black lines are clean, dude, your Hugo Strange is pretty good. I'm not if that's E-tape. Good job on the E-tape, because if you're using E-tape and using a white Lego torso, it's better to use E-tape because it's then fabric, because the texturings are totally different. Now let's look at your Robin figure. Oh, I think I like this figure a lot more than your your Hugo Strange figure, because I see that the red, it looks like you used a red torso and you painted the black details on, which is a smart choice. The black outlines here somehow look better. I like what you did with the cape, and it doesn't frail out like what Lego tends to do. It doesn't stick out, but it's a lot more subtle on the shoulders. That's a good touch. I noticed that you made like a 3D belt. That's also really cool. And you used, hey, it looks like you used E-tape for the belts and stuff. That's awesome. So overall, I do like your Robin figure a lot more. Is this the one from Young Justice or something? It looks like, to me, it just reminds me of the Young Justice one, Dick Grayson. Could use accessories though, either a bow staff or batarangs, whatever. So overall, yeah, very good. The Robin figure is actually a good figure you made. So good job, bro. Our next submission is from NovaBox15Z, and here he has his Rick Grimes and the Death Trooper from the Legends. I guess he means like a book. Because isn't the Death Troopers? It comes from a novel series, right? We started customizing 2 years ago, and I really wanted to get better. That was the message you sent me. All right, let's look at the first thing you see, the Death Trooper. Now, I'm assuming that's supposed to be dry blood, and you know, for dry blood, it actually looks pretty nice. Pretty accurate, because you know when blood's rising, it kind of looks like almost like very dark red or kind of brownish. So I like that weathering a lot. I like that. That's pretty much it. Because all I can really say is that he just got a Stormtrooper minifigure and just did some modification. The helmet is really nice. I can tell it was a struggle to try to get cut off the slant line and then the rest of almost like the trapezoid shape. I can imagine it being a bit tough. I'm not sure if you might think if it's easy, but definitely if I was gonna make something like that, I would have a hell of a time trying to cut that piece off. So yeah, good. It's like good amount of effort putting on the helmet. That's a very nice touch. I'm not sure if is that supposed to be an eyeball or something? I have no idea. Picture really isn't clear. I'm not sure if there's any other details you painted on the zombie head, because to me, I don't know. For some reason this dot here just looks like an eye to me, and it looks like sort of like teeth-ish. I'm not sure if that was intentional, or I'm just like thinking that randomly off the top of my head. But overall, yeah, decent figure. Not much to say other than the dry blood is a very nice effect. Now looking at the Rick Grimes, Walking Dead, that custom minifigures for the Walking Dead are just as dead as a show itself. I mean, it's just like any other. To be honest, this is like any other Walking Dead Rick Grimes I've seen. Like especially with the werewolf hairpiece, because I know that's popular, and yeah, it does look like Rick Grimes. So there's that. Can't really say much about the likeness because I don't watch The Walking Dead, so I can't tell if it looks like the actor or not. But if I look at this figure, I see Shane, the Last Prime, or Rick Grimes. And in fact, they both look the same anyway. Now, sculpting, I noticed you have like a little sculpting here. Just like I said with this previous guy with the outlines definitely could be better. I feel like you need to improve on that. Maybe if you paint brown over on top of some of the gold, and so that we can make the gold lines a bit thinner, I think it'll look really good. Especially, same thing goes with the belt. I have no idea what that part is. Is that supposed to be like a ripped jean or something? If that is, it just looks very off. It doesn't look very natural. It looks like it was just pasted in there. with like it looks like an afterthought to me. Definitely could maybe a little bit more tears and jeans here and there to try and make it a little almost like realistic, but not too realistic, if you know what I'm saying. Maybe that could help out because it just looks like it's a stain. The hatchet's a nice touch, and I like the watch. Other than that, there's not much I can say. So that's my opinion. So good job, man. Up next, we have Connor C, and we're gonna take a look at his arsenal here. Good outline. Okay. Good outline. Like the black outlines are actually on point. So good job on that. Overall, it's actually a pretty decent figure. I like the simplicity of your arsenal figure, dude. Now looking at the lacings, I know lacings are very hard to paint, but just looking at this right now, I can automatically tell from like a split second that it looks like there's more lacings going on his left side than on his right. Try and make sure it looks almost even as possible. Even I struggle to do this myself. But just keep in mind in the future. Nice 3D elements for the straps here. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure it has more buckles on the upper leg. But I mean, if that was your intended purpose to have less straps around his leg, because he does have a lot. He has like 4 on each leg. 2 on his upper thigh and 2 or maybe 1 on his lower. Why use Lego bows, man? I mean, just get them at Brick Forge. They're not that expensive. I mean, that's all I can say about that figure. I mean, I don't even know what the sides or the back looks like, so there's nothing for me to comment on that. Head choice, well, not a bad head choice. I could definitely see the likeness a bit, but I wouldn't say it's 100% accurate to what's his name, Colton Hayes from the show. But overall, if I look at it, I can infer it's supposed to be him anyway. So yeah, good job on that. Now you're Infinity War Spider-Man. This one's really good. I like this one more than your Arsenal because there's a lot more detail going on and there's a lot of interesting things. Gold paint looks like it's a bit rough, but then again, gold paint is pretty tough to work with, so I completely understand. I like that the fact that it's either use like overmolded legs or you just use red legs and just paint blue on top. I'm not sure what you did, but it looks like probably you used overmolded legs. I like this custom better than the actual suit itself, that's for sure. I understand that painting webbings are tough, but I really could think that you could have made a custom Spider-Man head, a painted Spider-Man head, rather than just using Legos. Assuming that is Legos, because looking at the printing on the webs compared to the painted webbings on the suit itself, it looks very different and it's pretty distracting. So overall, I really like the spider detail and the webbings. That I can tell that was time consuming. I went through this as well. It looks like he used black lines. Now I don't remember the Infinity War suit in the top of my head, but I think dark red could definitely work well because I don't like putting black lines on my Spider-Man figures anymore because the black lines are just way too distracting. It takes away the other good parts of the figure. Having it maybe like lighter black, not like gray, but I guess like darker red, I think that would definitely work well. Then again, maybe the Infinity War suit, the black lines are more predominant than the Homecoming suit. If that's the case, then alright, then forget what I just said. So yeah, good job, man. Our next one is for Lego Savage Custom, and here's his Thor Ragnarok. I can see the effort that you put into this figure, man, but overall, I think this needs major improvement. Let's talk about the hair. The hair, I don't see the hair and beard working. I like that you attempt to sculpt it, so that's definitely a plus. It's good to try new things. I like your ideas and the concept you put in this figure, but overall, I just don't think the execution lives up to its potential. The hairpiece, it's just I don't think it works well because Thor's hair, when it's like cut, he has kind of spikes up a bit. If you want to go simpler, like a sleepy hairpiece with major sanding could definitely work. This one it doesn't look like. If I just take away if I just look at the head itself and not the rest of the body, I couldn't tell that's Thor. That's supposed to be Thor. I would think it kind of reminds me of Russell Crowe, and I'll be like, oh, that's Russell Crowe from that movie, isn't it? Sculpting, I think it could be a bit smoother. paint job I definitely think the paint job needs major improvement. However, I do like the use of your 3D material. Like that cape especially is actually pretty good. I actually like that cape idea. And looking at it, it doesn't look fabric. Is it E-tape? It's probably E-tape, isn't it? I see that you use like fabric or maybe it looks like, oh yeah, it looks like fabric maybe because it's like the Cape Man's fabric I kind of see here, or maybe it's just Lego's fabric. So yeah, that's a nice touch. Overall, yeah, I think this figure definitely needs a lot more major improvements, and definitely you can get a lot better. I mean, when I first started making minifigures, I wasn't good at all, and it takes time for you to like finally like improve and all. And I think I can definitely see potential in the future. I think you can definitely make good customs if you keep practicing and you keep getting better. Now these two customs here, the one looks like Assassin's Creed and the Arkham Knight, they're from Jax. Alright, the Arkham Knight helmet, I don't know what you used. Oh wait, it looks like you used the Ant-Man helmet and you sand off the sides and you fill in the gap in the mouth. I mean, I understand it's very hard to make an Arkham Knight helmet, but I don't see an Ant-Man helmet working well for an Arkham Knight minifigure. I mean, to be honest, you're better off just sculpting it and just try that. Speaking of sculpting, the sculpting, it looks like I can see a little bit of fingerprints and it doesn't look like they're perfectly smoothed out. Again, you can use sandpaper or you can use like your X-Acto knife and water to smooth it out. You definitely need to take note of that. Be careful. Don't sculpt all at once. Be sure to sculpt little sections each time. Like sculpt one side of the torso, the next day sculpt the other, and yeah. I do like the red and white pattern on the legs. That's a nice touch. But yeah, overall the paint job could definitely need, and sculpting definitely needs improvement. And I feel like the Arkham Knight has a lot of details, and no, just try to go overboard. But as long as it's clean and not too distracting, you can definitely make a really good Arkham Knight figure. As for Assassin's Creed guy, I like it a little bit more than the Arkham Knight. The paint job looks slightly better, but again, it doesn't look too even and too clean. So definitely need to work on that a bit more. The use of the Cape Man's trench coat is a very nice touch. I do like the face you painted, and I understand stubble is very hard to paint. So I'm not. All I can just say is like just when you're working on stubble, do not do it all at once. Do it. You have to be very patient when you're painting stubble. So yeah, overall, I think the Assassin's Creed figure is a bit of a step from your Arkham Knight, but both still need to have an improvement in general in terms of paint and sculpt. Next up is Peter Carr, and if you give credit to me, give it to Lego P3 YouTube channel. Alright, so check out Lego P3 and his YouTube channel, and here we have his Heath Ledger Joker. This is really good. I'm not sure about the hairpiece. I mean, I used this hairpiece before when I kind of started making custom minifigs, more like with printed paper and decal. But this hairpiece, it's just not Heath Ledger. I'm sorry. If anything, the only closest thing that's alright is the Anakin Skywalker hairpiece, but even that's not accurate. I mean, to make a good, accurate Joker hair, you're better off just sculpting it. And I'm actually having someone do that for me. The head's actually pretty cool. The head's not bad, but I guess the only nitpick I can give is that the eyes look a bit too cartoonish. Doesn't look like the menacing Heath Ledger. I mean that's why for my Heath Ledger Joker, I'm not doing the circle gray eyes because it just looks a bit too cartoony. That's what I did for my previous Joker figure, is when I have the circles. It just looked too kitty and doesn't seem to fit well. And also, it looks like the mouth is a bit too wide. Like I think if you cut off for the black line, if you cut it off like I guess a bit shorter towards from the right side of the head, it would look good. It just looks like it's stretched out and it's off-centered, and so it looks like it's leaning towards his right side of his face. The tie, the dots on the tie I understand that painting dots are pretty tough, and I experienced this myself. But definitely, it looks like it's way too crowded up on the tie section, on the upper tie section, than on the actual tie itself. Definitely need to take note of that. I do like the use of fabric. That's a nice touch, and he needs. The Joker has platinum, the stripings on his leg. I understand if you don't have the time or patience to do that. I completely understand. Overall, yeah, it's a decent Joker figure. Just need to take notes of what I just said. Now, this guy, he chose to be anonymous, so I'm not going to say his name. And this is his, like, Iron Man figure. I don't know what kind of Iron Man this is from. You guys might know in the comments down below. So, what do I think of it? Then again, I don't know where this Iron Man is from, so I'm not gonna judge based on accuracy. I'm gonna base on the figure itself in general. Overall, the sculpt has potential, but the thing is, I do notice that bits and sculpts here and there are a bit uneven, especially on the torso. It looks like the abdomen section, it's not perfectly centered. When the triangle comes down, it doesn't go in the exact point into the center of his crotch. Kind of, to me, in my view, it looks like it's shifting towards his left side. And whatever silver paint you're using, it's pretty shiny. But I think it would definitely work a lot well if you maybe sanded the sculpt, so that way it's a lot smoother. So that way, when you put silver paint on it with the right amount of water, it will definitely look flat, and clean. The legs, some of the paint job doesn't look even, and the sculpt kind of looks like a disproportionate. So definitely take note of that. I do like the head. The head's actually kind of a nice touch. And I know that the blue parts are supposed to be kind of I guess, the arc reactor. If you want to make it look like it's glowing, try putting some white on it. Some like a white circle, a white line, a highlight, anything like that, like what Lego does for their Iron Man figures. If you do that, I think it would definitely make your figure pop out for all these blue parts, because it just the blue arc reactors and everything and the other blue parts around the figure, it just looks very flat to me. And now looking at the back also looks like it's a bit lopsided, so definitely make sure that your sculpt is even as possible. And you can do that with using the blade of your X-Acto knife to press onto it with a little dab of water, because water helps that out a lot. Or sandpaper or file, any sanding material, it can definitely help you. Here we have another figure from Habit Customs. I met him at Brick Fair, which is pretty sweet. Hello, yo, it's me, Habit Customs. I decided I wanted to send some of my pics of my custom Lego Arrowhead, and this is my Rogue Series in Custom, and one of my favorites. Please note that the brown hair on some of the pics is just a placeholder, and that the blonde is her real hair. Also, I gave her a custom bow, and I hope you like it. Okay. I don't know what the heck of the Arrowhead is. I'm assuming that's just your own. I guess it's your own style of figures. If that's the case, this is not based off anything else, then good job for originality. Let's look at the hair. Now let's look at this figure. Overall, the torso is I'm trying to figure out a nicer way to say it. I think the torso does need some work. The lines for the breast definitely could be a lot thinner, and it looks off-centered. And it looks kind of lopsided. And the red paint you're using, I don't know what you're using. It looks very chunky. It could definitely be a lot smoothed out, and you can easily do that with water or with another brand of paint. If you're using the same brand of paint that I use, definitely just use a lot of water for that and smooth it out. I like the bow. The bow is actually a pretty nice touch, and it's cool that you use a Lego or some sort of a rubber band, so that's nice. Good use of modifying Lego plastic, that's good. And nice use of the legs I see here. And the arrow, I don't see that. I think if you give it an arrowhead, I think that would definitely look a lot better, and it would make sense, because what I'm seeing right now is it's either a nightstick or the swords I use for my Neo figure. I'm not seeing an arrowhead on that, unless that was your intention. But overall, to me, it doesn't speak to me as if I just look at that itself, I would think of it as a metal sword or a stick rather than an arrowhead. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Oh, and I'm seeing more pictures here. Yeah, overall, it's just like what I just said before. Just make sure the paint job looks a bit cleaner, and I guess that's pretty much it. Yeah. This one's from Martin, and he has his Infinity War Spider-Man. Okay, I can't zoom in. Oh, actually, no, I can. Okay, sweet. Overall, hey, this is actually pretty creative. I like that the fact that you use like a 3D elements for the shoulders. That's actually a very nice touch. And overall, I do like it's pretty good. Pretty good job on the golden patterns. The gold patterns does look straight. It looks pretty clean. One thing that's kind of off for me looking at the front view is the eye. The eye just looks very off. I think it has to do with the black lines. I'm not sure if it's like that in the movie, but to me it just looks like the black lines are a bit way thicker than it should be. It looks like the red paint you're using, just like what I said for Habit Customs. It looks almost like it looks too bumpy and too chunky. Same thing with the dark blue. Again, adding water could definitely help. And the back of the Spider-Man suit would look good if it wasn't off-centered. And if that was exactly in the center, I wouldn't have such a big problem with it. But overall, it's just, it's a bit too iffy. But overall, I do like the front of the torso, so you definitely nailed it on that. So good job. Now this is from Habit Customs again, and this time he's sending me this Nightwing. I'm not sure about the Elvis hair. It doesn't look very Nightwing-ish to me. I mean, I understand this is supposed to be your own style, but to me, it looks like a roly-poly is glued onto his forehead. So not too sure about the hair choice there, in my personal opinion. I like the idea you did for the goggles. That's actually kind of cool. The fact that it kind of reaches above his forehead and down below is like his cheek. The mouth, the line could be a lot thinner for the mouth. It looks way too thick. And I think what could make this figure good, because it's just, to me, the most important color to use whenever you're painting different colors onto a torso is black. Black outlines can save your figure a lot. Any sort of outline, I don't care. Like, mostly black though, because if you put a black outline between where the blue and the dark gray and the light gray meet, if you do that, I think it could definitely make your figure look a lot better. Because black is the most important color to use in any artwork in general. Like, black makes things look good, which is why, like for example, in the MCU, even though I love the MCU, their color gradings are awful. Like, I love Civil War, but in that scene in the airport, the scene looks ugly, and that's because there is no black color in it. At least a black. Which is why in comic book panels, if you see like the good looking ones, what do they all have in common? They use black. Black makes everything stand out very well. Look at the other comics that don't use this black often. You know how weird and ugly it looks? There's a whole video essay about it, about why Marvel movies look so ugly. Patrick H. Williams, I believe. So check that out, actually. So yeah, definitely black outlines. Same thing applies to custom minifigures. Black can definitely help you there. Very interesting on the belt design. Like, that's actually really cool, and I like the gold outlines. And very nice choice for the Black Widow legs. That's actually pretty cool. Oh, and I noticed that you put like dark blue around his head. That's a nice touch. But the thing is, the problem with using one color is just most of this figure is mostly one shade of blue. Just having a dark blue on only one part of the figure, it just looks very off. I think if you put dark blue outlines around other parts of the body, it would match everything up. I think that would definitely work well. Because it's just like, imagine an Iron Man suit when the helmet is only light red, but the rest of the figure, the torso, the legs and arm are dark red. It just looks off, and that's what I'm getting, and that's the vibe I'm getting here. The backside doesn't look very even, so if you like work on that and make sure it does, and maybe add some little more details on the back, because it just looks like it's an afterthought. You just put it in there with no idea what you're gonna paint. Like, dude, like for the belt, have the belt continue on the back. So doing something like that could definitely make the figure look like not only just the front can be interesting, but the back and the side as well. Just make sure all sides of the figure are interesting whenever you're making customs. And lastly, for his sticks, his nightsticks, whatever it is, very good touch. So yeah, that's it. Good job, man. And last but not least, this is from Riley Downey. also known as Lego Rhino, Lego_Rhino57 on Instagram. And here's his Justice League Flash, and he sent a message to me. This is my Justice League Flash custom. I was inspired by you to use the Ultron helmet as the cowl and sculpt the symbol. I left out the wires on the suit on purpose because I thought it would just make the figure look weird. I sculpted the chest, bottom half of the cowl, and the knee pads. I used an Xbox card for the lightning bolts on the cowl and torso. Lastly, I used cut up Lego hands for the shoulder pads. And of course, this was painted by me. Okay, Ultron cowl. Let's look at it. Okay, from this view, I think if you want to make the Justice League Flash cowl a bit more accurate, definitely you're gonna have to do a lot more modification on that Lego Ultron Flash cowl. Like, you have like a little dent for where the nose is, sand off a lot of the sides, because the sides are always something that bothers me with the Ultron officer helmet. Because when you put on if I'm actually wearing that sort of helmet, that it would just look like this. You know what I mean? So if you like slim that down, it would definitely look a lot better. Because in this view, it doesn't really look like that. I mean, my Justice League Flash cowl has the same problem, so I shouldn't be talking. Very nice for the use of the credit cards, or whatever you said, for the lightning bolts. That's cool. That's actually a very good idea for using the Lego hands as shoulder pads. That's very creative. So good job on that. And it's fair. That's fair that you left out the wires in the suit, because that's going to be very hard to do. So yeah, good job on the 3D elements on this figure. This is it's a pretty interesting glossy paint to use. But the thing is, it does look clean. The paint job does look clean, except, again, black outlines. Black outlines is definitely something I think you guys need to improve on. And I'll probably do a tutorial on how to make black outlines, how to make lines thin. I'll definitely help you guys on that, but I'll make a tutorial on it if you guys want to see it. Because definitely, I think all of you guys definitely has potential, but it's really the black outlines you seem to suffer on. So I'll do my best to try to help you guys on that. Let's look at the rest of the figure. Some part of the paint job definitely looks uneven. This leg here, I have no idea what the hell is going on here. So, but I guess that can be an easy fix. So yeah. So overall, that's actually a decent figure. And I can see for the Ultron officer helmet, you did slim it down a little bit. It just didn't look like that to me. It doesn't look like a cowl. It looks like an actual helmet. So if you want to make it look like an actual cowl, I think just sanding away parts could definitely work. So that's it for customizing critique, guys. That's all I can say. If you guys are new to the channel and you haven't sent me like any customs you guys want me to critique on, my email is down below, and just for the subject title of the email, just call it customizing critique. So that way, when I filter my email, I'll see it. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for all your submissions. I would definitely love to do more of this YouTube web series with you guys. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.